We'll take up file 2020-57239, Joseph Busman and Stephanie Tatro, and both are here. And this is the date and time set for hearing on Mr. Busman's motion regarding custody. We had a preliminary hearing in this matter back in December. The matter was set for an evidentiary hearing. Did you get a chance to work this out in the meantime? No? All right. Sir, this is your motion. So we'll start with you. Do you want to testify yourself, call your first witness? How do you want to start?
I'd like to start off with saying, I've had the kids for almost the last month.
All right, well, you're going to testify. We swear you both did it as well. Do you both swear or affirm any testimony given this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth, self again?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Okay. I've had the kids for almost the last month since Christmas break was over for different circumstances that Stephanie has given me. Throughout the last month that I've had them, I've seen them exceed a lot in that short period of time with school and daycare. And I really believe that it's the best interest of Joe and Sam that they be with their father. I've got the kids getting up in the morning, dressing themselves, that we wake up with no alarms because I'm on a certain schedule. We wake up at 7 o'clock every morning, get ready for school or daycare, get ready for work. We get dropped off at daycare, dropped off at school at the same time every day. And I believe this consistent behavior and schedule that I have has been very beneficial to the children. Now, the two witnesses I have, the teacher, I'm not going to ask a lot upon because there's legal issues there with the school. And I just mainly had her come with the message that I gave you in our last proceeding, that she was very happy that I was going for custody of the kids because she knows that that's what's best. And then Miss Cantrell is who I'm really going to ask questions because she sees the kids more than anybody. And she has noticed a lot of behavioral differences since I had that month straight with the kids. And I think she's going to be very crucial in testifying in this case.
Okay. So that's kind of an opening statement. You told me what I'm going to hear. Ma'am, you want to make an opening statement?
Opening statement for what he's saying. My kids have behavior issues, I believe, because we are separated. And when we go to do pickup and drop-offs, they're hearing name calling towards their mother from their father, and their altercations of pickup and drop-offs is not good for the kids to be seen. For one, they're emotional damaging, watching parents fighting back and forth or hearing them putting the other parent down. I don't see why when pickup and drop-offs, you can't stay in the vehicle. You got to get out and come in towards my vehicle. Stuck his head into my van. A lot of the stuff that the kids, I believe, are dealing with because emotional abuse, separated and stuff going back and forth. And other reasons too, because they're in CMH services. I have them in CMH services. They're coming out to my house, everything. I'm doing the best I can and doing everything I can for the kids.
All right.
And another thing for him having the kids, he got the kids for Christmas break. It wasn't his time. I allowed him to have them because I've looked into the courts and it was my year. I allowed him to have Christmas break because he said we didn't do it last year. So I said, fine, you can have him for this year. Okay. And then after that was over, I was gonna pick up my kids, but then my van broke down again. I had it in the shop for a while, and then I found out it was a belt and something else exploded. I spent $900 to get it back, and then again today I broke down a daycare. So I think it's a starter now. So I'm having car issues, and he agreed upon taking the kids for their safety from not walking them back and forth to school in the snow and rain, and he agreed upon it. And I said, okay, good, I'm looking out for our kids. And he agreed. And then now he's throwing in the judge to you that I left him for a month or time. It wasn't just I would left them. I didn't abandon my kids. I was having him help them get back and forth to school because I had no wheels. And I also was strep positive on the 9th. I couldn't be around my kids. My tonsils were swollen shut, and I had to be on steroids and antibiotics. I didn't want to give the kids strep. So I was positive until like the 12th. I couldn't even go to school to work. I went to circles group, graduated. I was in it for a year. I do all kinds of things. I'm in school. I work, do the best I can.
All right. Sir, do you want to call your first witness then?
May I say something first?
Sure.
The circumstances we have in the month, it started off at the strep, and she sent it over to my house, and I got it as well. And then the circumstance after that, she said her furnace quit working, and she couldn't take the kids. Then the circumstance after that was her vehicle broke down. And all this time, she made no efforts to call, to come see, to check on the kids. It was just nothing. It was, I don't mind taking the kids because that's what I want. And I want what's best for Joe and Sam. And that's the way I seen it. And I kind of figured that she was just coming on the same page with this whole thing right now. And I thought she was starting to develop the realization that this is going to happen. And I thought she was just letting me have what I want. Like you asked if this thing had got cleared up since then. If she would have came to me and said that I think you should have custody of Joe and Sam, I would have told you yes. But that didn't happen. She goes, I had the kids. She didn't contact me whatsoever, and she went to the daycare and picked them up without telling me.
I don't need to tell you about and pick up the kids to take them out to eat.
This is true, but after me taking the kids like this, it's just common courtesy. So when I go to daycare to pick them up after work, they're not there. I don't know nothing about it. I mean, it's just irresponsible.
Can I speak about that?
Sure.
I have been contacting him. I don't contact him all the time because I hear verbal abuse. For one, I'm downgraded as a mother. On the 19th, I went to the school, to the daycare and picked up the kids. Sammy had a CMH appointment at my home. I walked him home and I walked him back the next day. I even went to the daycare picked up my daughter Sammy, took her out to eat and walked her back to the daycare. It's not that I was not trying to have any, relationship with my kids or speak to them about them. I can't co-parent with Mr. Busman without him downgrading me. I have a message on my phone that he states that I am a lowlife and everything because I picked up my kids from daycare.
All right, so I guess help me understand the reason the kids have been with him for a month and you haven't been following the custody order is because you were sick or because of your car or
There's
because of both?
a bunch of both. And my car just broke down again today.
You said you couldn't get the kids back and forth to school because your car was
No car. I would be walking them in the cold rain and snow. And
It's been about the most mild January we've ever had. It's been more like March.
Well, it's been raining and snowing and walking them and the kids don't like it. So I thought it would be better for them.
It's up to the last 2 days.
Well, not the last 2 days. I had the kids for that long, but I'm not talking about them. I was talking about when it was snowing and raining.
January? We haven't had snow all month. What are you talking about?
Not snowing and raining. Not at the time when he had the kids, it was snowing and raining.
We've not had snow since around Christmas. Until
Well,
2
then
days
it's
ago.
raining a lot. I don't know. It was bad weather and I didn't want my kids
It hasn't been
walking.
any rain or snow.
I just didn't want my kids walking to school
You only
because
live like 3 blocks from the school.
I know, sir.
I walked 3 times that far to school when I was a kid.
I know, but they're young and I didn't want, and people were coming up to me, asking me, do you need a ride? And my kids were crying about how cold they were.
All right. All right. So, sir, I guess what do you want to?
Oh, we can call Miss Jen.
All right.
Cantrell.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm any testimony given this cause to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You state your full name for the record.
Jennifer Marie Cantrell.
All right. And Mr. Busman has asked you to testify, so he'll have some questions for you, and then Ms. Tatro may have some as well, and then I might have a couple too, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, go ahead.
Jen, I'd like to start off. Do you recall when you told me about when Stephanie came to see Samantha to bring her chocolates and stuffed animal?
Yes, sir.
And she was not planning, her intentions was not to take Samantha out to lunch that day. She had just come there to drop off gifts. And
Yes,
Samantha
sir.
threw a fit and she finally gave in and took her out for lunch.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that because she just said she reached out to the kids and she went to daycare that day just to bring chocolates and stuffed animals to her. And she had no intentions on taking her out that day. Would you believe that when the kids are coming from my house from this last month, that their behavior has improved at all
Yes, sir.
in daycare? Thank you. Do you believe that they are well taken care of when coming from my home?
Yes, sir.
Now, another statement that you made to me before Christmas break, the kids would always come into daycare famished and hungry, very hungry.
Yes, sir.
And then you also commented to me that after the Christmas break was over and they were still with me and coming from my home, they were no longer famished and hungry in the same sense as they were then.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Is there anything that you would like to add, Jen?
If the judge would allow, I did write a statement with what I've seen over the last 2 years, not in favor of either party, in favor of the children, if I'm allowed to read so.
Yeah, you can read it. But before you do that, how do you know the children, or how are you involved in this?
I am the director of Shane Ann's Early Learning Center, the daycare that the children have attended since September of 2020.
Okay. How long have the kids been going there?
2.5 years at this point, just about.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, whether you read it or say it off the cuff, either way is fine.
All right, Samantha and Joseph, we will call him Joey Busman, have been in attendance at Shane Ann's since 9/16 of 2020. Over those 2 years, we have witnessed a variety of things with both children and their older sister, Beth Tatro, who is not a shared party. Over the past 2 years, Mom, Stephanie, has had primary care of the children. When she enrolled the children, she had only allowed herself to pick the children up, stating that their father, Joseph, and her were separated. Within a few months of enrollment, Joseph started coming to pick the children up with the accompaniment of Stephanie. Shortly after that, Joseph was then allowed to pick up and drop off the children without Stephanie. During their enrollment, for the most part, Stephanie has not properly supplied the children with their needed items: diapers, pull-ups, wipes, extra clothes. There have been several occasions in which the children have left for the day in clothing provided by the center because of accidents or because the children arrive in the same dirty clothes they have worn the day prior. On multiple occasions, both children, primarily Samantha, have arrived in extremely soiled diapers, clothes smelling of urine. August 14th of 2021, and I do have pictures if you need them, sir. Samantha arrived in complete disarray, covered in dirt, marker, and urine. Her teachers bathed her in the sink and put her in clean clothes. That day, she was dropped off by Stephanie. When the children are under the care of Joseph, they come in clean, bathed, in clean clothing, and their hair properly maintained. During the course of enrollment, Stephanie has changed her phone number multiple times, making it difficult to reach out to her in an emergency or illness in which the children need to be picked up. She has been provided with an app that the center uses for communication. We are unable to contact her through that. Joseph has provided us with a valid number and made himself available anytime we've reached out. Joseph also has access to the app. Joey suffers with severe skin concerns. Stephanie has stated several times that it was eczema. When under the care of Stephanie, Joey comes in itchy, severely broke out, and sometimes bleeding, very rarely covered in cream. Under the care of Joseph, Joey is coated in cream, his skin looks to be in the healing phases, and Joseph has provided cream for us to have here. For the majority of their time here, the children have arrived and appeared almost starving, scarfing down excessive amounts of food, guarding food until they are full. Over the past month, the children eat much smaller portions and will state that they are full. They now happily share the food bowls with their friends. When Joey attended our preschool program, we would have daily problems getting him to take a nap or even lie down to rest. He would act terrified and not want us to leave his side. It was later confided in us that Mom, Stephanie, has a Chucky doll that Joey is terrified of. Mom has been said to use this doll by placing it in front of his door to trap him inside as a means to keep him in the room at night. Joey also told us that he watches Killer Clown TV at Mom's house and doesn't want the clowns to get him. As a rule at our center, children are to arrive by 11 a.m. every day. This allows us to maintain a routine for all the children, the classrooms, and the staff. We provide lunch daily at 11 a.m., followed by an 11:30 to 2 p.m. rest time. When children arrive after 11 a.m., it disrupts this meal and rest time. On multiple occasions, the children have been dropped off at 11:45 and beyond, usually around 1:45 p.m. And upon arrival, children are very hungry and many times dressed in the day's prior clothing covered in filth from the day before. There have been multiple occasions in which Stephanie brings the kids at 5 p.m. so that Joseph can pick up for parenting time. I have spoken to Stephanie about this being an appropriate exchange point for parenting time, but that the children should be here for the day, not just for 20 minutes at a time, as again it disrupts the center in the classrooms. The two most recent drop-offs, the only two in the past 30 days, by Stephanie have been at 5:15 p.m. and 2:25 p.m. On average, Joseph drops off between 7:55 and 8:30 a.m. when getting Joey to school every day. When dropping children off, Stephanie leaves the children in the hallway to find their own rooms. On multiple occasions, she's had to be shown which room each child attends. Joey drops off and picks up the children from their appropriate rooms each time. Stephanie usually drops her picks off with the accompaniment of a male friend. We've had a couple different men documented as emergency contacts. Joseph picks up and drops off alone, only once, with his father to get his father in the system as an emergency contact. In early spring 2022, I began giving information for the children to attend building bridges at the school. I asked Stephanie several times if the children had been enrolled, as to which I was told they had not. In August, Joseph approached me and asked how to assist in enrolling the children in school. In September 2022, the children started school at Building Bridges. Joey is in attendance Monday through Thursday, full-time from 8 a.m. to 2:50. Samantha attends Tuesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Usually our staff from the center picks Samantha up at 11 a.m. 2 times in the past month, Samantha has not been at school when we arrived to pick her up. On both of these days, she has been with her mother the night prior, most recently, Thursday, 1/26/23. Upon the children beginning the school year, Stephanie had full care of the children. Their father had parenting time bi-weekly on weekends. Stephanie would attempt to pick the kids up from school on Friday, many weeks, stating that she was not aware they didn't have school on Fridays. By doing so, getting Joey excited to attend school would create issues at daycare because he was angry. On multiple occasions, she has shown up to get Samantha in the afternoon, stating that she doesn't know what time her school ends. She's been informed of the above concerns multiple times. I've witnessed Joseph attending various events for the school for his children. I've not witnessed Stephanie at any of these events. Joey has emotional dysregulation concerns. Over the past 2 years, we've seen a variety of behaviors from him. He's had a difficult time with transition. In the past, many of his behaviors stem from being overly tired. Our staff has worked very hard forming relationships with him and helping him find various coping mechanisms when he's feeling his big feelings. Our staff noticed that the week of Christmas break 2022, Joey's behavior was really different. He had moments of compassion towards his friends. He was able to transition easier and was in touch with his feelings of anger and frustration. We learned that he had been with his father during that time for winter break. His behavior has continued to be positive more times than not lately. I have only witnessed tough behaviors on the days after he has had time with Stephanie. In 2021, Stephanie stated that Joey began care with CMH and was to be put on medication. When asked again, she stated that he never went back and was still waiting for his medication. It has never been brought up again. Since 12/27/22, Stephanie has picked up her children 2 times and dropped off 2 times. Joseph has picked up his children 15 times and dropped off 10 times. The other times have been picked up from school. We picked the children up from school. On 1/18/23, Stephanie arrived at 2:05 p.m. to drop off items to Samantha. Candy and a toy. Stated that she would take Samantha and they would return. She returned with Samantha at 3:07 p.m. On 1/20/23, Stephanie brought the children in for the day at 2:25 p.m. At 2:30, a staff member noticed Samantha was soaking wet in 2 layers of clothing, wearing a diaper extremely soiled. The teachers took Samantha into the bathroom to change her. We label each child's diaper in the building, and the teacher noticed that the diaper Samantha was wearing was labeled. So it was a diaper that she was placed in before Stephanie picked her up at 2:43 the prior day. Upon removing all of Samantha's clothing to clean her, Samantha was found covered head to toe in spots. Knowing that Joseph would be picking the children up that day, we reached out to have him come get Samantha. Joseph took her to the ER and notified us that Samantha had strep rash. Upon their arrival Monday morning, Joseph brought us the appropriate medication to administer to Samantha. We've been working for over a year to have Samantha potty trained. She does very well when dressed in the appropriate attire. Joseph brings Samantha in underwear and provides extra clothes in case of accident. Stephanie brings Samantha in a diaper 9 out of 10 times soiled. Stephanie has been heard stating, "Why get you pull-ups? They're too expensive when diapers are cheaper." Developmentally, Samantha should be in underwear and, if necessary, only pull-ups as they ease the use of bathroom. I hope that I have adequately explained the things that I or my staff have witnessed to best support the children in this case.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from this witness?
No.
I
you have a
I
question?
have to speak about this, and
Oh,
I
hold
do
on,
have
Hold on.
some
hold on.
questions.
I don't want you to testify right now.
Okay,
You can ask your questions.
Jen, have you ever called my work regarding my children?
I have, because I could not reach out to you via your cell or house phone number, so I did call your work.
Then why wasn't there a phone call on their phone, and why did my boss say there was no phone call?
I spoke to your boss. I spoke to your boss on the phone, and that was the day your boss asked me how to get you enrolled in school, or how to get Joey enrolled in school. And I told your boss that you would need time to come enroll him.
But I've never heard her say anything regarding.
You were in the office with her and left that day, ma'am. I can look at my files, but I can tell you, you picked your children up about 11:30 that day.
I can, okay, okay, what other questions I have? It's hard for me to think of questions right now, I'm sorry. Have you ever seen Joseph act out of anger over not getting his way?
No, ma'am. Not in my building towards these children. No, ma'am.
Have you seen Joseph get angry and throwing things?
No, ma'am.
What about Samantha?
Oh, you're talking little Joey?
Yes.
Oh, yes. See, I call them Joey, and I call the man sitting next to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have said Joey Jr. or Joseph Jr. Yeah,
So,
have
yes,
you seen?
I have seen behavior issues of both of the children, yes.
Okay. Has that gotten better?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. That's all the questions I can think of right now, sir.
All right. Anything else for this one? She may be
Nope,
excused.
she can be excused.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, next witness.
I think I'm just gonna leave Joey's teacher out of this. I gave you the text message. If you want to hear her say that she wrote that, I can bring her in. But like I said, she told me that for legal matters, that all she could testify about was that message of attendance. So I don't know.
It's up to you.
No, I think Jen put everything very good.
Text message where?
There's a copy of a text message from Miss Koistrick.
That attached to your motion?
It was attached to my motion, yeah.
Written by you, and then there was a bunch of pictures, right?
It was just a screenshot of a message that she had sent me. But I just told her that I was going for custody of the kids, and she said she was so happy that I was doing this with all the problems.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, but I'm not seeing the.
Yeah, let's just leave her out of this. I think Jen put everything just perfectly well. I mean, if you want me to, I don't have my copy either. So if you want me to bring it, no, it could be inside of that. It's just a picture of a screenshot. There's a class dojo where we can communicate with the teachers, and I had informed her that I had planned on going for custody, and she had sent me a message back saying that she was so happy that I was doing this. I can bring it up on my phone if you'd like.
It's in here, so it wasn't attached to your motion, so.
Sorry about that.
I mean, I can't really consider it.
Excuse me.
I can't really consider it unless she verified it. It can't be a piece of paper can't be cross-examined, that's the problem.
Okay, but did you find the copy of it?
Yeah.
Okay, we can bring her in.
Hello, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Can you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony given this cause to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and Mr. Busman's called you as a witness, so I'm gonna have Phil ask you some questions, and then Ms. Tatro may have some, and I might have some too, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir, go ahead.
Okay, I mainly wanted to ask you the message that you sent me on the class dojo when I informed you that I was going for custody of the kids. You replied to me that you were very happy that I was doing this. Do you confirm that you wrote me back that message?
I do.
Okay. That's all the questions I have for her.
All right, and I guess, ma'am, can you state your name for the record?
Nicole Lynn Kosturek.
All right, and how are you involved in this? How do you know the parties?
I am Joey's preschool teacher.
All right, very good. And ma'am, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yes, why did you message him that statement to him? May I ask?
I am not able to comment on that.
Okay. How is Joey doing in class?
Joey's behavior has improved.
Okay, that's good. So has his aggressive throwing things has calmed down?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, ma'am, you're not able to expound on why you told Mr. Busman it's a good idea for him to petition for custody?
I am not. I was told by my supervisor and my employer that I am able to talk about attendance, and I can talk about his student achievement, and I can also talk about what parents attended parent events.
Okay. Well, how's his attendance?
His attendance, he has missed, it's been pretty good. He has missed 2 days in September, 2 in October, 1 in November, 2 in December, and then 3 so far in January.
All right. And so achievement, that's how he's doing in school. How's he doing in school?
Yep, he is making progress. He has definitely made a lot of progress with all areas of learning.
All right.
Yay.
And ma'am, can you form any opinion on whether he appears to be, his behavior is different depending on who he's stayed with the night before or for that week?
I can't.
So your supervisor doesn't want you to testify to that?
Correct.
All right. There's nothing I know of in the law that would prohibit you from testifying. I've had teachers testify about that dozens of times in the
Okay.
past, but that's something that your supervisor has told you
That
they
is
don't want you
correct.
to testify about?
Correct.
All right. Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else for this witness?
Nothing.
Have I contacted you on Dojo and spoke to you regarding Joey and how he's doing lately? Because I finally got to get some,
Yes.
because I'm getting better at that.
I actually.
I'm a very busy person and I work a nursing home and I'm a third shift
Jansen
nurse.
does. What do you want to say?
The hand-to-hand exchange, bringing the kids to school, Joey, I have in writing right here that Stephanie is not very good at bringing the kids up, and she just gives a thumbs up if she's having a good morning and a thumbs down if she's having a bad. How has my hand-to-hand dropping Joey off been better than Stephanie's mornings of dropping Joey off?
I'm not able to comment on that.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Anything else for her?
Nope.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're all set.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, sir, what's next?
Besides what we've already talked about, it's another thing that is I've brought up in here before is the uncleanliness of her home being infested with cockroaches. I know it's a problem, but she states in statements that she's wrote in here before that when I was living in the house that I did nothing to help this. And my plan was just to get out of there because we should not be living in a trailer infested with cockroaches. Everything equals out to the safety of Joe and Sam. And this last month that Joe's been treated, his legs been treated by me. The rashes are almost gone on his legs. It's been going on 2 years that he's had these rashes. And it's hard for me to keep control of it if I'm not there to help. I can't fix it if I'm not there to fix it. If I can't be there, the kids can't be with me full time. It's never going to get better. None of this is ever going to get better. It's just going to it's going to be an ongoing situation.
It's a skin condition.
It's been a problem of neglect and abuse that's been going on and on and on. I've went to Stephanie's house after weeks of her not communicating with me. No aunt, she refuses to talk to me on the phone ever. And I went there and I was actually using my brain that day and I turned my camera on and I've got on video of her locking our son up in his older sister's bedroom, the end room in the trailer. It was the end of July that it was somewhere between the end of July and the beginning of August that day. It was 90 degrees by noon. And she had him locked up. He had pants and long sleeve shirt on. And I have that on video. And it shows the dirtiness of her house and just the hook that she has on this door is over my head level. Besides being just wrong, it's a fire hazard. If the trailer was to catch fire, how would anybody be able to see through the smoke to get that unhooked? I think this locking up of Joe is a lot to do with his behavioral problems. It gets so aggravated when he gets forced to do something, like in timeouts at my house. He still has all these aggravation problems. And I've been trying to work with him, and I absolutely refuse to lock him up at all. He does not even sit in a baby chair anymore, is what I call him, for eating. Samantha sits in a high chair. And what Joe tells me is he still sits in a high chair at home. I just feel like this neglect is never going to end. It's just going to be an ongoing process. What I've said before, Stephanie does not know the difference between right and wrong. She's lived a very hard life. A lot of wrong things have happened to her. Has it made an impact on her? I believe so, but I'm not a doctor. She needs these things figured out for herself before she can go on to be a good parent. As far as co-parenting, there is no co-parenting. She refuses to talk to me on the phone. She insists on just doing these text messages. Stephanie has about a 7th grade education level. When she writes me these text messages, I can't understand them. It's hard to get. She wants to text me for 45 minutes when we could have a 5-minute conversation on the phone and be done with it. So I try to refuse to text her more unless I have to. That's the only way I can communicate with her. So I have to do what I have to do for the kids. And just the way that they've been doing so good this last month with me on the routine that I have for them, I believe it's the right step for this court to place the kids' custody in my hands. Maybe someday Stephanie can get over these issues of neglect that she's been neglecting our kids for 2 years now. Maybe she can get over that. We can look back on this and she can tell me, thank you. I'm a better mom now. I can do this. And maybe then we can come back in here and we can get things turned back to normal.
I'm a wonderful mom.
But until we figure out these issues and how to get past them, I do not believe that the safest place for Joe and Sam is with Stephanie's custody. After what Mrs. Jen said about how Samantha and Joey get dropped off to her, soiled and hungry, when I get them back, they never even have matching socks on, if they have socks on at all. At my home, I have everything that they need to be sufficiently healthy. I display lots of love to them. We have lots of times when we sit down. I get the folders from the school and they tell me what to go over with Joey, especially Joey, because he's got these anger issues. And every morning we have a routine before we go to school. We go over what they asked me to go over with him. Lately, it's been behavioral, making green choices. If he needs to take a break, ask to take a break. And I believe these discussions I've been having with him has made a really good impact on his school life. So not only is her neglect affecting their health, their well-being, it's starting to affect their education. And that's something that I cannot have. We cannot have that at all. These kids need their education. Besides being probably ADHD, which is a road that I plan to cross with CMH or their primary doctor, whatever their primary doctor wants me to do. Eric Weaver is their primary. That's the steps I'm going to take. And it's been against my better judgment ever to have these kids on any kind of ADHD medicine. And I personally don't believe that Samantha does, but Joey has definitely been through a lot. And one little thing that I agree with Stephanie, it's a separation. Is it me getting out of the vehicle at Wesco? No. Joey had a smashed finger that day and I got him like that. I cannot communicate with this woman at all. So I got out and I said, Stephanie, Joey smashed his finger. And she just kept ignoring me. I was like, Stephanie, Joey smashed his finger. I do not know how it happened. And she accused me immediately of doing it to him. I said, no, I got him like this. He said something happened at the racetrack. I'm not sure. After that, she took him to the emergency room for a black finger.
Yeah, I looked at.
His finger, this is a couple weeks later. His fingernail is getting ready to fall off. When you smash your fingernail and turns blue, it's going to fall off eventually. So the night before she picked him up, me and Joe did it together. 1, 2, 3. We pulled it off, put a Band-Aid on it. The next day, she's accusing me of how his nail could get infected and how it's so dangerous to rip these things off like this. It was hanging on by a thread, and I could not just put a Band-Aid back over it. Impossible. And just, that's another right from wrong. She doesn't know the difference. Being on some kind of nurse or whatever she does in this facility, she should know better. She's the one that took him 2 weeks prior to the emergency room to have that black finger checked out. And then she's wondering why I ripped his nail off. It's just the things that come from this woman. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what else to do. That's why I'm here today, to do what's best for Joe and Sam. I can provide the stable home that they need, the stable environment.
All right, so I have a bunch of questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Pro per parties about attorneys, sometimes don't know, exactly what I have to consider. It has those 12 child custody factors, so I've got a bunch of questions that I asked, and then I'll ask you the same ones later on, so take notes. So when the kids are in your care, what kind of activities do you participate in?
I just got the kids a nice new chalkboard. We take probably about 2 hours a day to play with their chalkboard, and I got them these new sensory games with ABCs on them and such. And we'll sit down and we'll play with the toys. Once they get bored with that, we'll switch to a book. They just got a bunch of new books for Christmas. Once they're done with the books, we'll go to the chalkboard and I'll get them drawing. When snack time comes, I like to take Nutella and put it onto a plate. And I got these little peanut butter puffs things that I take, and we sit there and we eat M&Ms and we decorate and we make little bugs and such, and they sit down and eat snacks. Other activities, when it's been a nice month, so we've been playing outside a lot, but with their sickness, it hasn't been as much as I like. I've gotten lots of toys for the kids. My son Joey really is fond of his tractor. He's got a nice big tractor that he can ride on. He likes to go outside and play. So when we did have snow last, he went out with his tractor when I was shoveling the porch and was playing around. It's got a backhoe on the back. Samantha really likes to read books, and she likes to draw on her chalkboard. It's got magnet letters on there, and I will put all of our names on there in the magnet letters, and she will sit there and repeat them. And she say, my name, Daddy's name, Joey. And I like to do that because it's getting her used to seeing words and telling me about them. After I took her to the emergency room, she had the strep rash. We were pulling into the Walmart parking lot, and there's been signs there for a while now that say puppies for sale. And we drove by that sign, and Sam said, I want a puppy. And I didn't say anything about puppies because we didn't have no puppies at my house. But other activities we like to do, we like to go out to Grandma and Grandpa's, my mom and dad's house. They have lots of stuff to do. In the summer times, they got their gardening, flowers, gardens, corn, tomatoes. They got golf cart. My dad's got tractors, and Joey loves to get on the tractors with Grandpa. I like when I have them on normal every other weekend. I like to get them over to Mom and Dad's at least one day for 3 or 4 hours, so they got time with Grandma and Grandpa. Sometimes I will separate them, and I will just send Joey there because I've been noticing that they work a lot better if they're separate, and I'll swap it out. Sometimes I'll leave Sam there with Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa, and I'll take Joey and we'll have guy time. And then sometimes I'll leave Joey there, and Sam and I can go out and do things. We'll usually go shopping because she really likes to shop. One activity they've really been liking, I just finally got myself qualified for food stamps, and I like to take them to the store and I let them fill the list. And I give my son Joey a list, and he doesn't know what a lot of the things say, but he likes holding on to it, and he likes grabbing the stuff and putting it in the cart. We call our family a lot. His Aunt Candy is right behind me here, my brother's wife. We call those guys a lot, talk on the phone. It's one thing that we try to do a lot. It's not really an activity, I guess, but yeah, we play a lot. Joey loves his Nerf guns, and we go to war every once in a while. And Grandma and Grandpa just came over the other day, and we all had a little Nerf gun war, and it was a lot of fun. Kids really liked it. Mom and Dad really liked it. I really don't have my kid Joey and Sam around any other kids. That's something that I've been looking into, is just finding some play date buddies. maybe. So especially when summer vacations and spring vacations and everything's going on, Christmas vacations. But we have lots of activities.
Okay, and so just so I hear from you, where do they go to school?
Hesperia Public Schools
And where do you live?
in Hesperia.
And do the kids look to you for guidance?
Oh, absolutely.
Questions and things like that?
Absolutely. I went on Wednesdays, I get out at noon. This last Wednesday, I hadn't heard from Stephanie at all, so I just planned on picking the kids up again as normal. And I had Nicole, the teacher, had told me when I got to the door, so I'd messaged her on the class dojo saying I was picking Joey up. And she said, Mom's here. I was like, okay, well, let me come in. I talked to Joey for a minute. I walked him down to the office. She does not pick the kids up where she's supposed to. She goes to the office for some reason. I don't know. But Joey asked me when I got down there, and Stephanie heard him say this, is it okay that I go with mommy? So I think that right there was a big guidance he was looking for, because he tells me a lot of times he doesn't want to go home. And I feel for him. And I told him it was okay, and I made him feel just as comfortable as I could. I was trying to get a sweatshirt on him that day, and they had to leave really quick, so hopefully he got a sweatshirt on. But yes, absolutely. Both the kids look to me for guidance, especially with Samantha learning the potty training right now. She's doing very well at that.
And what types of punishment do you use if necessary with the kids?
With Samantha, it's timeouts in the in her high chair if she needs it. It's mostly if she won't just sit down where I time out her at. I usually time her out on the couch. I will take certain things away, privileges. Some toys will get put up when they're not listening. Say if she is throwing water in the bathtub onto the floor, and she knows better to do that, then the bathtub gets drained. She gets washed up with the shower turned on. I turn the shower on, I finish washing her up, and she gets out of the tub. Because the kids love their tub time and they love to play with their toys, but once they start making a mess, that's it. That's enough. Besides that, it's not really a punishment, but I sit down and talk a lot. I just talk. I like to talk to them, and I like to try to explain to them and ask them if they understand. It's more like with Joey that I talk to him more. Samantha's just a little bit younger. She's very smart, but I don't think she's quite got the concept because she thinks it's more playing than understanding. With Joe, I like to sit him down. He doesn't like to be confined, so sometimes I have to put him right on my lap and hold him and make sure he's understanding what I'm saying. And so I guess he would probably consider that a punishment.
What's the attendance record for the kids when they're in your home?
For school?
Yeah.
Great. The only time they ever stayed home was when they had the strep, the sick. And every time that I've kept them home from school, I've took them to the doctor.
In school on time every day?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any knowledge of if that differs from the other parents' home?
Oh, absolutely. Knowledge. Okay. Just what the teachers have told me and the attendance that I look at and the sheets that I get.
All right. Did you submit any of that? Any of the attendance sheets or anything like that?
I didn't. I just recently got them, so I do not have one, sir.
Okay. Do you work?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Durst Feet in Fremont. About 5 years. I took a little break. I went to the Ford dealership in town and it didn't work out, so I ended up going back to Durst Feet. But about 5 years, they've treated me very good.
And how much do you make there?
$14 an hour.
Full time?
Full time. They frown on it, so no.
Who are the doctors for the children?
The primary doctor is Eric Weaver. And I haven't had no communication from CMH at all, so I have no idea who the doctors would be in that case.
Do the kids have any special medical needs or special needs to see the doctor?
No.
Are the children well clothed when in your care?
Absolutely.
Well fed?
Absolutely.
All right. Regular meals?
Regular meals.
Some nutritional at least?
Oh, yeah. Samantha is more on fruit. And Joey doesn't quite care for the fruit, so sometimes I'll substitute cottage cheese with fruit at the meal. But I like to sit down with the kids every night and we eat dinner. It's been a good routine for us so far. Get out of work, pick the kids up from daycare, get home, start cooking dinner. Samantha's usually in her room watching Baby Shark while I'm cooking, and then Joey's out in the living room playing with his toys or watching whatever dragon show he likes to watch. And we'll get dinner done and we'll get up to the table. We'll say grace and we will eat. And if they eat all their dinner, they get ice cream. A lot of times I cave in and they get ice cream anyways. But
Let's see, how long have you lived in your house?
oh, good golly, it's been about 2 years. This is about maybe 2.5 years, 2 Christmases we had there.
Do you own it or rent?
I rent.
All paid up?
Yeah.
Anybody else live there except you and the kids?
No.
Buddy, visit on a regular basis?
Mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, they're not too far out of town. So every time they come to town, when I got the kids, they make a point of stopping in.
Stick built, trailer, modular, demo?
I believe it's a stick built house. It's just, it's a great big stick built house that's built, separated into 2 apartments. So I have neighbors right next to me.
Good shape.
Yes,
Plumbing, electricity, everything works?
yes.
Let's see, do the kids have their own bedrooms or do they share or what?
They do not. It's only a 2-bedroom apartment. That's something that I'm planning on. Actually, my landlord was actually over last night, and she's telling me about a 3-bedroom that's coming up for rent, and she wants to see me get out of that one and get into the 3-bedroom. So that was actually a blessing in disguise. But Joey sleeps in the living room. I've never, since I've had this apartment, I've never been able to get him to sleep in his bed inside that bedroom with his sister. I believe it's something, the only thing, and it's strange that Jen brought it up about the clowns. He told me that's the reason he doesn't like sleeping in his bedroom. It's because of the clowns. So I take his bed, which is somewhat light, and I just put it in the living room every night, and he sleeps out in the living room. And he stays on his bed all night. Before that, we were having bedwettings, and I would find him on the floor in the living room. I would find him on the couch in the living room. I went through a couple of couches when he was having bad issues with that because he would be urinating himself at night. Since I bring his bed into the living room, we haven't had no problems. He sleeps all night long. And if I don't wake up at 7 a.m. right on the dot, he's up at 7 a.m. on the dot. He's right at my door waking me up. So
Let's. Do your kids have friends in the area?
well, they got friends at daycare, but like I said, I'm trying to find play buddies so we can have play times. So I was none that the neighbors have a little girl in summertime. They're playing outside sometimes, and he'll play with her sometimes. But
You have a criminal record?
no, I mean, I have a couple of minor things that I've been in trouble for. The domestic violence that I went to jail for.
Oh, so, okay.
A couple priors when I was younger in high school.
So as an adult, though, just a domestic violence?
Yes.
Are you on probation or anything right now?
No.
Have you ever been investigated for abuse or neglect of children?
I know there's an open CPS case going on right now,
All right.
but I do not think it's against me.
Okay.
CPS actually called me.
I see him here. I don't know if someone's gonna call him to testify or if they're just here to watch.
Excuse me.
I see him here, but I don't know if they're gonna
Okay.
testify.
Yeah, I have no idea either. But CPS contacted me, and it wasn't nothing to do with the concern of Joe and Sam. It was to do with the concern of Beth Tatro. And I just told the truth and told them what I knew. As far as if there's been any CPS cases open on me, I'm not really entirely sure. But whatever was open on me, if there was, it was cleared and dropped. The case was closed. I know they came to my apartment when I first moved in there, and they just walked in and walked out. I had to make sure I had running water, and they didn't even check that. I went over there. I was like, "Well, let's make this proper here.
Do you have any mental health issues that affect your ability to parent?
No, sir.
Any physical issues that affect your ability to parent?
No, sir.
Any alcohol or illegal drug dependence?
No, sir.
And the current parenting time is you have every other weekend, right? I mean,
Yes,
on
sir.
paper.
Yep.
Okay. You've actually had the children pretty much exclusively for a month.
Yes, sir.
Have you gone to see them?
I
Judge,
feel,
Melissa Dykeman told me to stay away from her house, so I haven't tried reaching out to driving over there. But I have reached out to text messages to her, and the only time that she had seen the kids is I gave in to her. She was concerned that we didn't have enough food in the house, and I wanted the kids to see mom, so I gave in to her, and I met her at Ed's store there in Hesperia, and she had went in and filled the cart up with groceries. Nothing that the kids eat. It's food that she eats that I remember her eating when I lived with her. She asked me if she could get in my van to kiss the babies, and I said, yeah, no problem. And I asked her if she wanted, I had been at the park just before that, and I told her that we would be at the park, and I wanted her to see the kids, and she didn't make any effort to come up to the park. No effort at all. And she didn't ask, can we go to the park? Can we go out to lunch? Can we do anything? Nothing.
Let's see. You said you had a domestic violence. Was she the victim?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She ever assaulted you?
Has she ever assaulted me?
Right.
Absolutely.
So you assaulted each other. That didn't result in her being charged though?
No, there was no proof.
I was protecting myself, Your Honor.
Were the children present during any of those?
Yes.
assaults?
Yes. The first time Mrs. Busman ever assaulted me, I had our son in my arms, and she balled her fist right up and it hit me right in the face. That was the same day that we found out that her dad had died from suicide.
Can we not bring up my dad, please?
All right. I guess that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything else that you wanted to testify to?
No.
All right. So ma'am, do you have any questions? He's been the witness now for a while. Any questions for him? You don't have an attorney, but you can ask him questions.
Why do
about his
you,
testimony.
okay, why do you think that I'm a bad parent?
I think you're a bad parent because you don't understand the difference between right and wrong. I think
Okay, why do you think I don't know right and wrong?
because I don't think you were ever taught it.
Hmm.
May I
Okay.
ask her questions as well?
No.
She'll testify later, I'm sure, and then you can ask her questions. But right now,
Okay.
you're the witness.
You stated that Joey said, Daddy, can I go with mom? Why would Joey ask you to go with his mother?
Just looking for guidance. And he said, is it okay that I go with mommy? I think he felt a little uneasy because he had been with me so long. And deep down, he knows that he's getting neglected. He's looking for guidance from his father.
Ask permission to see his mom. Did I or did I not contact you and say I want to buy the kids some food because I won't have them for a little bit and I wanted to give them, supply them food for you didn't have to buy them any, and I agreed upon meeting you at Ed's, and I hand you a couple bags of stuff with Jello and stuff just for the kids, for they can have food, then you don't have to worry about it.
You did contact me, yes.
Yes. Okay, have you ever broken into my home and threatened me or any of my partners that I was with?
No.
That's all, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, anything else you want to present?
No.
All right, so ma'am, now it's your turn. You want to testify, call a witness? How do you want to start?
I'm gonna call a witness. I'm gonna ask for Mark to come up
Mr.
here.
Allen?
Mark
All right.
Allen?
One, two. Swear or affirm any testimony given this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
Hey,
My name is Mark, M-A-R-K, Allen, A-L-L-E-N. I'm a CPS worker for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in Nuevo County.
All right, ma'am, go ahead.
How do you know me and my kids?
I've had previous interactions through complaints that we had received. There was one in April, towards the April 2021. That was my first interaction. And then I've also had contact through previous other ones. I know my coworker had come out to talk to you. I came with her. And then when I was on call as well, I had gotten some calls and I came out to see both.
How do you know Mr. Busman? What do you think about his living situation of his home and how he is?
I've met Mr. Busman a few times through my cases. When I've met with him, he was fine with me. He allowed me in the home. He didn't give me any issues. I found his home to be at community standards.
Um, is there any other concerns that you have regarding Mr. Busman?
The one concern I do have is there's been a history of, I know there's been a history of domestic violence, but I know there's also been a history of intimidation as well. I know I've gotten police reports where there had been issues in Westco. I know Mr. Busman had stated that Stephanie had brought individuals that weren't appropriate. And I know I got reports that stated that Mr. Busman was harassing her as well. I don't believe those had resulted in any arrests or anything like that. I do know from talking to Beth, though, I had spoken with her during my case in April 2021. She had reported to me that just prior to that, so it would have been March or April 2021, that she witnessed Mr. Busman pull Stephanie down to the ground. I did get varying responses of where that occurred, though. I was told that he came into the home and did that, and then I was also told that he had done that at his home. So
He's done.
I'm unable to verify if that was multiple instances or if that was one instance, but they were unsure where.
There was multiple.
And then I do know reviewing past case history too. It looks like that Ms. Busman and Mr. Busman were both substantiated in 2019 due to domestic violence issues. That might have been from the arrest that Mr. Busman has. It does appear that both were substantiated in that case.
Do you feel that I am unfit and have a bad house and bugs crawling all over, and I'm not taking care of the situation as best of my knowledge?
I've been Ms. Busman's house multiple times now, typically unannounced. I don't typically call individuals to schedule meetings unless it's something that I can't get a hold of them. Every time I've been to Stephanie's house unannounced, I've never seen any concerns with the house. I do know that there was some issues brought up with cockroaches, but Ms. Busman appeared to be treating them. That in of itself would not be necessarily child neglect if the parents could some to treat it. It's my understanding that she was, and she did have things when I was there. And I guess I would clarify the stuff with like the barn hooks being on the doors. That was brought up during my case. I had spoken with a previous CPS worker. She had told me that Stephanie did have them on the door to prevent the kids from going into the bedrooms or the bathroom and flushing stuff down the toilet. I talked to that worker about any concerns regarding that, and she said that they had been aware of it and they had safety plan about that, and they had no evidence that she was locking the kids in the rooms, and that her only intention was to keep the kids out of the rooms when they were not being supervised in that area.
That, and I spoke with you and I took those down, and I haven't had a door on that room for over 2 years.
They were taken down by the time I was there. I just saw the screw holes in the things in the door jam, so I asked her about that, and that's where I got that verification.
That was put on for my daughter because she was asking for her to keep her brothers out of her room. The room that had the lock was for my daughter's room.
Okay.
And the bathroom was a lock because the door broke, and
Okay.
it's broken again. I'm gonna refix it. Another thing I didn't have money. I thought I didn't have child support. I had a card that I thought was my card. Found out I had the wrong card all this time. So I wasn't getting my child support. I finally got it and got my kids new beds and everything as well. Do you believe I'm a bad parent to my children?
Not what I've seen during my cases.
Okay, that's all the questions I have, Your
Is there
Honor.
any questions for Mr. Allen?
Do you recall, Mr. Allen, me showing you the video that I
Yeah.
have on my phone?
Yep.
Did it appear that day that Joe was being locked in that room through that video? I know you said you couldn't do anything with that, but
The difficulty with that is there wasn't a lot of context to the video. So the video I observed was Mr. Busman taking the hook off the door, opening the door, and both of the children in the room. In the video, though, both of the children were playing and looked happy. I couldn't determine from that
Can
video.
can I vouch?
They did not
Sorry.
appear distressed or anything like that. And I did tell Mr. Bossman, I don't know the context of that video. It could very easily have been accurate, and it could very easily have been staged too. I just, from the narrow scope of the video, I couldn't determine what was going
Am I allowed to speak regarding that, Your Honor?
You
Regarding,
Testify yourself.
okay,
You
I'll
said
do that
both
then.
of the
No,
kids were
what-
locked in
I know,
that
I'm
room?
sorry. I'm not good with court stuff. I'm not.
on. Yes, I saw Stephanie, or I saw Samantha and Joey in the video.
Because in the video I have, both of the kids are not in the room. Only my son has been locked in the room, and my daughter Samantha was in her crib. And they were both in distress, yelling. They're nowhere near playing.
I do. I mean, they're in the room. I believe one of them was in the crib, and one of
But
them
I mean,
was-
do you honestly believe that they were playing?
They didn't look like they were distressed. To me.
Would the judge like to see the sus video?
It's your case. You want to show me the video? Show me the video.
Would you like me to stand up? And
So it's on your phone?
yes, sir.
You don't have it on some kind of thing that I can.
Don't worry, Dad's
I guess, all right, stop it for a second. Have you seen the video?
Yes, I am.
All right, you object to me watching the video?
No, I don't, because I know it was staged.
Okay. Sir, before you show it, what was the date of the video?
I do not have an accurate date of the video. It was between that. It was
Look on it, does it tag it?
this isn't the phone that I had at the time. That phone, I emailed this video to my email address, and that phone that I had has been destroyed. They got lost in the river, but I had this downloaded onto this phone. I can tell you it was the year 2021, between the end of July and the beginning of August,
July to August.
and it was a Saturday.
And you shot the video?
Yes,
And that was at Ms.
that was at Miss
You go by
Busman.
Busman or Kate Johnson?
I go by Bossman's.
By Busman, okay, it was at Ms. Busman's house?
Yes, sir.
And what led you to be there that day?
We were working on our marriage at the time, and I just seen things being displayed that I could not agree with. So I went back to my apartment. Through a week of trying to get a hold of Stephanie, I was trying to give her a space. She had not contacted back with me. No phone calls, no text messages back. I was concerned for the kids. I went over there on the Saturday after work. When I pulled in the driveway, Joey Jr. was in the end window right there, the trailer. That's Beth Tatro's room, pounding on the window. I didn't think of snapping a picture of them. I don't think of these things right away. I went up to the door. The door was open. The screen door was shut. She looked up at me. Miss Busman's on the couch, and she just went like this, and she went right back down her phone. I took an immediate right down the hallway, and I thought to myself, I should document this. So I hit record as I was going down the hallway. I let Joe out of that room. You can hear him run down the hallway and say, "My daddy's here."
So Mr. Allen was there that same?
No.
That same time? Oh, so what?
Mr. Allen,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Allen had
That's
came to
a
my
diff-
apartment later on, and I had showed him this video,
Oh,
and he said there was nothing that he could do about it.
all right,
Because
so you saw the same video?
Yes, he sent it
All
to
right,
us.
so
So
you weren't
no-
there at the time?
No
No.
meetings are the kids playing.
All right, I guess.
You want me to stand up so you can see it, or?
Yeah, yeah.
Watch. How long they've been in there, I don't know, but it was 90 degrees by noon.
It doesn't look like they were playing, you know, I mean, the sun ran right out. And
My concern, and I had reviewed that with my supervisor too, because I wanted a second opinion on that. And our concern is, if that was going on, I think most parents would unlock the door immediately and try to figure out what's going on. This was recorded beforehand and stuff. We had concerns about that. I'm not saying Mr. Busman staged it or anything. I'm just saying it was able to be verified.
any questions from this guy?
No, sir.
So what's the status? You're mid-investigation right now, or?
No, I believe my coworker Samantha Westfield has a current case. I
Okay.
just have a previous one.
You have a previous one?
Yeah, that was from 2021. And then I had gone out to the home probably late. It might have been early 2022. I was out at the home again. I was on call during the time. And we had gotten a complaint and I had gone out to see one of the children at Mr. Bossman's house.
What was the context of that?
Poor Jonah was,
Oh,
I don't recall off the top of my head. It was something about Miss Bossman's home. I don't know if it was about a discipline issue. I do recall that one of the children had said that mommy was mean to the other child, so I had gone out and interviewed them. I think it was mommy was mean to Sammy, is what I believe.
is there any substantiation as a result of that?
No. When I interviewed the child, he did not disclose that. The concern I had gotten is that there was like improper discipline or something happening at home. I had just gone out for the initial contact when I saw the children at Mr. Buxman's home. And then my coworker Samantha Westfield completed the investigation.
All right, so any current investigation though you have?
No.
All right. Anything else from Mr. Allen?
No.
All right, you're all set, sir. Dan, next one.
Yes, I would like to call Samantha.
Swear or affirm that the testimony given this cause to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Oh, Nathan?
My name is Samantha Westveer, SAMANTHAWESTVEER.
And how are you involved?
I am a CPS investigator for the Department of Health and Human Services out of Newaygo County, Michigan.
Good current investigation regarding the family?
I had the most recent investigation. It just recently closed on January 24th of 23.
Oh, all right, ma'am, go ahead.
How do you know me and my kids? And
I have had previous interactions during CPS investigations. I've had 2 prior investigations with Ms. Bussman and had the most recent investigation with the family.
how do you feel about me as a parent?
As I've never come across any glaring concerns during my investigations. I've interviewed all of the children. I know that you're actively involved in several services. During my interviews with the children, they've never disclosed anything that made me concerned of abuse or neglect. During my most recent investigation, during my interviews with both Joey and Sam, they both said that they felt safe at both parents' homes. They denied there being anything that made them feel worried or afraid at either home. And I had no concerns during those investigations for your ability to parent.
Okay, how do you know Mr. Bussman?
Due to previous investigations. I've not met him personally, as my coworker, Mr. Allen, was the one that made the contacts with Mr. Bussman. However, I did speak with him on the phone.
How do you see my home? And do you think it's a big mess and needs help? I'm not very cleany and filthy and
Whenever I've had any interactions at the home, excuse me, they've always been unannounced visits. She was unaware that I was coming. I did it, beginning of the day, and I've never observed any health or safety concerns that I needed to address. I've never seen any bugs, any health hazards or anything along those lines. And I do know that you've actively worked with our department on any issues with.
of course I don't like bugs. But do you feel that I have a lot of food in the home, that I'm fit for food, having kids having food and stuff?
Anytime that I've been to the home and I've viewed the conditions, I've checked fridges, cupboards and whatnot, and there's always been an adequate amount of food. I've never had any concerns that she was low on food for the children.
How do you, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what other questions to ask.
All right, is there any questions?
yes. What was, Miss Westford? Have you ever reached out to the daycare to ask for any concerns they might have for the children?
When I made contact last time to go interview both kids, I asked if there were any concerns that they felt they needed to share with me at that time, and they said that there was nothing that they felt that they needed to report at that time. I went to the daycare on 1/18 of 23. for my most recent
Did you
investigation.
personally speak to Jen Cantrell, who was,
No, I did not.
okay? Because she's listed off. Is it any of the things that she listed off today seem concerning to CPS, like Samantha coming in soiled diapers, not properly cared for, coming in with diapers that she had on the night before placed on her by the daycare? I mean, it seems like these are issues that the workers would have brought out and told you,
I did
but you
not. I
never
was not.
reached out to Jen, the
I've not,
director.
I've not spoken with Jen Cantrell
Okay,
myself. I can't speak to other workers that were involved with the family.
okay,
But myself, no, I have not spoken with her. My last investigation did not have concerns for Joey and Samantha, so I had no reason to delve into any concerns for them. I always ask school personnel, is there anything you feel I should know right now? They said no. And they said that there was some court stuff going on, which I was aware of. But my concern during that investigation was for Beth. And so I didn't have any reason to delve too far into what was going on with Joseph and Sam, as I didn't have any concerns for them at that time.
that just raises concern what, because we're here for Joe and Sam, not Beth, so it just raises concern why you're here. So if you had nothing to do with Joe and Sam's case, then there's no further questions I'd have for you. Actually, there is one more question. When you did go on announce to Stephanie's house, how long did you spend in the home?
I was there approximately 45 minutes.
And you've seen no signs of bugs, no cockroaches. Are you aware of the state's funding the Griffin Man coming in every month?
That would be something you would need to ask my coworker Pamela Williams about. She's the one that's been working on that.
Okay,
My most recent investigation didn't have anything to do with Joey and Sam, but my investigation in April of 22 was Joey and Sam.
okay.
So that's why I'm here.
Do you believe that the actions taken by Beth and the hardships that she's going through with the temper tantrums and everything that she has hard time is a bad influence for her younger siblings?
I'm not a mental health professional, so I don't feel that my opinion is really relevant in that.
Well, you've had actions with Beth,
I've
and
interacted
my
with Beth.
previous learnings with Beth and seeing firsthand that she has a lot of mental stress issues. And I'm just curious if you think that's acceptable to be around her brother and sister, in your personal opinion, maybe.
So you're asking my personal opinion is if she should be around her siblings due to her mental health issues?
Yes. And upset, though, why don't we put in there obsessively? So what if Stephanie, while she goes to work, is putting the babysitting of the kids on Beth?
Beth has never watched my kids.
I've not
Right.
been made aware of any time that Beth was babysitting the children or alone with the children without any adult being present.
Okay,
So I don't have any concerns about Beth being around her siblings, as I've not been advised that she's been exclusively caring for them.
well, thank you very much, that's all.
So what was the focus of the investigation in April of 2022?
April of 2022, there were some concerns of physical abuse towards Samantha. The report alleged that there was some marks to Samantha's bottom, and Joey had made some statements about mommy hurting Sammy. My coworker, Mr. Allen, did respond on call to that, and he interviewed Joey and Mr. Bussman. And then at that time, Samantha wasn't able to be interviewed due to limited verbal skills. But an attempt was made. And then I made contact with hospital staff because Mr. Bussman did take her to the hospital. And they report, and I got medical records as well. And they reported that they had no concerns of abuse or neglect. There was no signs of trauma, rash, or bruising during that visit.
So was that investigation closed?
Yes, sir. And
All
there
right.
was no preponderance of evidence.
The current investigation is, who's Beth? You mentioned Beth. I don't-
Beth is Stephanie's older daughter.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. And then, does the investigation of Beth concern any concerns or have any, lead to any concerns about Joey and Samantha in the house?
Yes,
No. All right.
It was closed without preponderance.
Oh, okay. Anything else for this witness?
Nope, that'd be it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I would like to call Pam Williams up here,
All right.
please.
Swear or affirm any testimony given this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. State your name.
Pamela Williams. W-I-L-L-I-A-S.
And how are you involved in that?
I'm a prevention worker for Stephanie and her family.
Oh, go ahead. Then.
How long have you known my family?
So I've been working with Stephanie since June of 2021.
Hey, do you have any concerns regarding my home and bugs and my care of kids?
So as far as the bugs go, Griffin was involved. We had a contract for a year. That ended in December, and now there are no longer any cockroaches or bugs anymore. Throughout the time that I've worked with Stephanie, she has worked on many goals. She's achieved many goals.
Graduated.
She has her and all her children in CMH services right now. She graduated from a Circles program through True North. She has paid off her house.
Yes, I have.
She continues to keep her job even when she has transportation issues, when she has medical issues. She is a very hardworking mother. I've been there many times. I'm there at least monthly into the home. And every time I'm there, sometimes kids are there, sometimes they're at daycare. But when I'm there, usually she's cooking for them, feeding them. They're usually playing and happy. Many times I've witnessed her need to discipline them. So I've seen her do timeouts. I've seen her take things away. She explains to them when they can get their things back. She seems to usually get down and talk on their level. I've been very impressed with the parenting skills I've seen from Stephanie.
Okay, how do you feel about my daughter and her behaviors, and how do you think that I'm handling that, like for Beth, because he was concerned about Beth with around the children. But are you concerned for the children being around Beth?
I've never witnessed Beth's behaviors. From what I've seen, my interactions with you and Beth, you seem to do well at talking with her and explaining things to her. You have her in mental health services. I know there's mental health providers in and out of the house, working with Beth and Stephanie. So
Yeah, and they're working with medicine right now as well.
right.
Do you have any concerns regarding Joe?
I have concerns with the interactions between Joe and Stephanie. I think a lot of Stephanie's barriers are having to co-parent with Joe or doing the co-parenting with Joe. I know that's very difficult. It sounds like maybe on both ends. And I think that is concerning. I know that Stephanie has expressed to me that she feels very threatened by Joe, that Joe brings up a lot of her trauma in the past to maybe try to manipulate her. And these things are very concerning, and I'm concerned that it is affecting the children.
Have you been out to his home and how do you feel about Mr. Busman's
No,
home?
I have not been out.
Okay. Um, do you have anything that you're concerned about regarding me and my home and children that I should probably work on?
Well, there's probably still things that we can work on. I like that you come to me with questions and guidance. You do that often. You did that even this or yesterday when I talked to you on the phone. So, and it seems like you usually take my guidance pretty well. So I think there's always stuff that you mean you're still trying to get get your schooling done, and so you definitely still have.
Yeah,
goals
that's
to
been on
achieve.
hold for a little while now.
Right, but you've been very, very busy, and she's working through.
I passed my social studies, but I missed my exam.
So as far as parenting, everybody has parenting things that they need to work on. Nobody's a perfect parent, so there's always room for improvement. But I think you do try to improve, and you work very hard at it.
Any
That's,
questions?
nope, I don't have any more.
All right, is there any questions?
Yes. Have you ever thought that maybe Stephanie's putting more effort into improving herself and not the kids? Because there's been lots of room for the kids to improve as well. And anytime I have ever heard about you, it's all just about her and not about the kids. We're improving Stephanie, not Joe and Sam. Hey, excuse me?
What is your question?
Do you think that she's putting more effort into helping herself and not the kids?
No, I think she puts a lot of effort into herself so she can be better for the kids and do good for the kids.
Okay, being concerned with stuff between her and I, have you ever tried to reach out to me?
No, I have not.
And like you said, you've never been to my home. Are you aware of Stephanie's mental health background at all? Has Stephanie ever been on psych meds?
I do not know her medication history, but she's reported to me that she has.
Has she ever been placed in an institution?
I don't know.
Has she ever been to jail?
I don't.
No further questions.
So ma'am, you're here for the testimony of the daycare.
Oh, yes.
So she testified that there's a great deal of inconsistency in the drop off and pickup times of the children when they're with their mother, the condition of the children, their cleanliness and their hygiene was an issue when they were with their mother, and that the diapers were an issue when they were with their mother. Are those things you've worked on with her?
Well, so here's the thing. I've left my number with the daycare and told them to call me with concerns, and they never did. So I was not aware of those things.
Okay, so those are things that have been brought to your attention before, not by mom or by the daycare.
Correct.
All right,
Like, can I say something?
sure.
So my thoughts for the drop off and pickup, I know there has been issues regarding them trying to figure out where drop off and pickup was. I know in maybe it was a PP order or the divorce order, he was supposed to be picking up from the daycare on daycare days, or Wesco if daycare is closed, and there had been some discrepancy on that and some disagreements on that. So I know there has been issues regarding that. So I'm wondering if, trying to speculate, but I'm wondering if that's the reason for the discrepancies, and Stephanie doesn't really know where to pick up or drop off because there's.
At times you've been to her home, have the children appeared well groomed or clean?
Yeah, for the most part, they've been running around or they're eating, so they're gonna have stuff on them. But,
Okay,
I mean,
you probably don't want to check that. All right, anything else for this witness?
No,
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, next witness.
I don't. I'm gonna call my mom. I'll just talk.
Okay. Have you swear or affirm any testimony given this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, your name?
Patricia, Oregon.
DEAU. DEAU? DEAU. Okay, all right, very good. Go ahead, man.
Okay. As me as a mom, and for all the stuff I've been through, how do you feel that I've been doing?
You have came, Stephanie, you've come along. From your past, from where you've been, wasn't good. But you have been trying really hard to get forward.
Okay. How do you feel I treat my kids? What do you see when I'm with them?
Happy.
Yeah.
The kids are always running around happy. I think they got a little bit of hyperness in them. Most kids
Don't all
do.
kids? But do you feel that I'm a fit mother?
No.
What? Do you feel I'm a fit, not an unfit mother?
Yes, you're really good at fun.
Okay, that's all I
You
have.
love your children.
Yep.
Is there any questions?
No.
So ma'am, you see the children on a regular basis?
No, I don't.
No? Do you see your daughter on a regular basis?
No.
Do you see Mr. Busman on a regular basis?
No.
Oh. When's the last time you saw Stephanie?
Oh, it was in the summertime. She bring the kids over to go swimming. Oh, gosh, again, it's gotta be in June or July.
Right, so you haven't seen her for 6 or 7 months.
It's been-
Is that the
she-
last-
It's been busy.
That's
I
fine. Is that
work-
the last time you saw the kids?
Yeah, because I work during the day at the schools. She's always working nights. Weekends, I have to do wood. Do wood things. I don't have all the kids to be there. So it's just timing.
Okay.
Me making more effort to get out there.
All right, I guess with that, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Have anything else?
Nope. The only thing else I can say for myself is that I have been working very hard. I push myself very hard. I'm in school. I got an 8th grade, way over 8th grade reading level, I found out, and I thought I didn't read very well. Comprehending is a different thing. So I'm in school. I went to circles group for a year, learned all kinds of things, went to outings and everything with my children. They loved it. When they closed down, my kids cried because they want to go back to circles. I graduated. Another thing, I paid off my home. I got rid of the cockroaches. I had the state fix my home too a while back because the floors were falling through and they put new flooring. My sister put new flooring down and then the state came out and fixed the roof that was leaking. It was leaking prior to Joe Busman leaving the home. So I took it and gotten it fixed up. It might be a small trailer and it might be not very big, but what I've got, I'm going to make it work until I can go into a bigger home, and I'm looking into a different place. I've been working 12s, sometimes more than that. I work kitchen and floor at work. I'm a third shifter, so it's pretty hard to get a hold of me if I'm sleeping when I get home. I get home at 6:30. Then by the time I get home, I got to get the kids ready. And sometimes it's not easy to get the kids off to school because they're crying, they don't want to go, or, I got to get them motivated to go. I've had issues with my daughter. She was going through a phase and she was getting angry and stuff. And then I got a hold of CMH and then now she's on medication, which is getting better. So I feel that I'm doing the best I can as a mother, and I love my children. I'll keep learning more. I keep going to classes and learn new things to see what else more I can do to better myself, to be best for my kids.
All right, I'll go through these questions with you then too.
Yes.
So what kind of activities do you and the kids participate in or do when
Oh.
you're together?
I take them out camping. I recently just took them small game hunting. not too long ago, but I haven't done that now. But he got to watch me make a squirrel pelt, which he loved. They love camping, they love fishing. They went salmon fishing with me. They go hiking. They go to groups with me. They go walking. They go to the library. They play memory games. They go on play dates with friends' kids, my friends' kids and me. Yeah, and I've been making new friends, so that brings more kids around from my kids and gardening, all that. Last birthday of Joe, not this birthday, but the prior one before, I paid for tickets for Monster Jam. And I involved Joe in it. And I asked Joe, I said, Joey wants his daddy there. And I paid for Joe's ticket to come to the Monster Jam with Joey to make his birthday very special. And I never got a thank you, but then that turned into something else. Like, I don't know, but I try the best to co-parent with Joe Bussman, but every time I try to co-parent verbally, I get abused. So that's why I text.
All right, and I know I've heard this before, but where do the kids go to school?
They go to Shenanza Daycare and then they go to the Hesperia School, elementary.
And so where do you live?
I live in a trailer park in Hesperia. There's a bunch of neighbors and a bunch of kids that come over and play in my yard because I allow the neighbor kids to use my swing set. And I have rules. If they wreck something, they gotta leave. So they're not allowed in the home because I know I was letting them in my home, but they were going and getting in all the food and smashing things. So I was like, no, you guys are allowed to only play outside. Or if it's wintertime, you can come in for the house for like a half an hour visit, then go home. But yeah, I have kids that come and visit me and they're not even my kids. Yeah,
And do your children look to you for guidance? They ask you questions?
all the time.
Like what?
Mommy, do you think I'm making a good choice if I do this or I do that? And I will say, no, I think that's a green choice, or no, I think that's a red choice, and you should not probably do that. They'll come up to me and say, Mommy, they'll ask just, simple questions, and I just answer them. Best of my knowledge. If it's something I don't know how to make something or something, I'll say, I don't know, I have to Google it. Because my education is not really good. That's why I'm in school, and I was pulled out, and I was put in homeschool, and I never got to go through school.
What kind of punishment do you use when the kids use your punishment?
A while back ago, I used to do spankings because I told him it was open-handed was okay. But then that didn't work because then he started spanking me. So I was like, no, that ain't working. So then I go and started putting him in a timeout chair. I have a timeout chair in the living room and I put him in that timeout chair. He gets mad. He'll stomp, he'll scream. He'll get up out of that chair and push my buttons and I put him right back in there. And I look at him, I said, now if you get up again, I'm going to add another 5 minutes. You don't like that. So then he'll get angry and he'll sit there for a minute, think, and then he'll calm down. Or take toys away. That works as well. And snacks. And also a lot of things that I learned with him, if you like give him choices or reward system, it's way better. Like if you give him if I say, hey Joey, you need to clean up your room and put all your toys away. Well, I have a reward system now. If they do it, they get to pick out like what kind of movie they want to watch or what they want to do for themselves. If they want to go to a movie or something, then I will take them to the movie and they'll go watch a movie with me because they earned it.
How's the kids' attendance? There's an issue brought up with the daycare provider about attendance. When they get there, it's supposed to be there by 11, but late, you don't.
Okay, because I go to work on Thursdays and I want to spend time with my kids. I barely ever see them sometimes, so I take them and keep them a little longer so that I can spend time with them, and then I take them to daycare. I know that daycare is important and everything, but also it's time with their mother.
All right, and where do you work?
I work at Fountain View in Fremont, a nursing home. I've been there for about over 2 years, about 2 years or so now. After my son died, I went to find a job.
And how much do you make there?
They just raised it, so I'm gonna be like making 14, 15 an hour. I do thirds. I pick up hours that if they need somebody, I take the hours. I'm also doing kitchen, so I do kitchen and floor now. So I'm probably bringing home about 1,200
So 14, 15 hours, full time?
part-time.
How many hours a week?
Oh, that depends on if I pick up hours or not. So I'm not sure exactly how many hours that is.
Is full time available, but you choose not to work it, or is it?
It's not that I have a bad back condition too as well. I was on light duty for a year and I still worked through a year with Tamarack. My L4, my L5 is slipped. They were told me it's either work or your back, and I chose work.
All right. You don't know how many hours you usually work?
I'm not good with that here.
It just varies so much that you can't. How many days a week do you work? Start there. How many nights?
How many nights a week? About 5 or 4.
What time do you go in?
10 to 6.
10 p.m.?
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And some days are mandated to 12s.
Well, so 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is 8
Yes.
hours.
Yes.
You do that 5 times, that's full time. That's 40 hours.
I'm part-time though. I'm taking on hours, so I'm confused there because I've been taking on a lot of hours lately.
I'm just going by numbers.
I'm not,
5 nights, and you work 10 to 6. That's
okay.
5 times.
Let me
5 times
let me do a little thing. I was like, I'll work Monday off, then I work Tuesday off, then I work Friday. So it's probably 3 or 4 days a week. I'm probably off on that.
All right. And so who's there with your who's there at home with your kids while you're at work?
There was my soon-to-be fiance, but he left me yesterday. He's scared and threatened. He couldn't take it anymore. This is the second time a guy left me over it. I was with Brian Ennis for 2.5 years. He left me over it. Over stress with Joe and threats. And then now Jake Wellman, I was soon to be married. He also just left yesterday. So I've been talking to Joe and I told him I'm gonna need your time. I'm gonna need you to take on the kids when I'm at work. I need you to, if you could help out and watch the kids while I'm working. And he said he agreed upon it. I texted him regarding this, Your Honor.
So got the rest of the questions asked you, but
I did have a babysitter that was approved through the state, but she also quit as well.
all right. I guess my question is, you have the kids live with them primarily for the last month, for whatever reason, transportation or whatever. And now he's gonna have to have the kids overnight 3, 4, or 5 nights a week during your time because you have to work and you need someone to keep an eye on the kids.
Well,
Why are you fighting the motion? I mean, they're gonna be there.
No, that's
Just by
not.
those circumstances, they're gonna be there more time anyway.
That's not what I was picking up the kids. I told him I had my car fixed and I went to pick up the kids from the school. He knew my car was fixed and I went to go pick them up. He was picking them up. And I was like, and then he told me like, why are you abandoning the kids? And then all of a sudden, then you go up there and take them out without my consent and take off with them. And then he called me a lowlife.
All right, well, let's take that out of it. I mean, let's tell each other terrible things.
Right.
And that's.
But
That's just a fact of life. What I have to look at though is what's in the children's best interest. And if the children's best interest is to be with their dad right now because you have transportation issues, you can't get into school because you don't want to walk the 3 or 4 blocks. You've got a job overnight and nobody to watch your children at home, so they have to go to dad's house anyway. I guess I don't know why we're here having a trial on this.
Right now
they're gonna be with him the majority of the time anyway.
Your Honor, I'm not wanting that to happen. I've been going through a lot of hard times and worked really, really hard to get this stuff situated. I'm looking for a new babysitter right now. I'm just needing him as a help for now until I get another babysitter approved.
Make daycare, probably easy to find.
I got friends that might be able to get approved. I have people that said that they would babysit my kids.
Then you gotta pay them, and if they're dead.
I
they're down
have-
the road. I mean,
I have daycare that's approved through
you
this.
have to pay for that, wouldn't you?
No, state pays for it and it's approved. And I'm
Why wouldn't?
also looking into a new job for first
Don't you have that
shift.
4-hour rule in your ordinance? It says if you need daycare for more than 4 hours, you gotta call the other parent anyway?
And I have.
Well, I know you have, but why would you find a daycare provider overnight that's gonna be more than 4 hours? If you have to offer him that time anyway?
Well, I don't feel like my parenting should be taken away from me just because I'm having issues with the vehicle that I'm working on. Like, why can't we just co-parent?
Well, that would be great, but
Right.
it wouldn't be here if you guys could co-parent.
Right.
Okay.
I've been trying hard to co-parent with Mr. Bussman.
Well, I guess that's not always.
No,
All right, how long have you lived in your present home?
6 or 7 years, Your Honor. Trailer? Yep.
Trailer park?
Yes, it is.
No, an issue's been made of the condition of that residence. What condition is it?
It's in good condition. I got a few things to fix on the floor, but I'm taking up, there's office carpet that's all stained. Okay, and I can't clean that. Office carpet is not really good. I'm gonna be pulling that up and putting down linoleum. Because kids make messes everywhere and I don't want to deal with carpet. But other than that, everything's good.
Plumbing, electricity, water, all that works?
Yep,
You got the bugs taken care of?
yes, I did.
All right. Do the kids have their own rooms in their house?
I have a 3-bedroom home. There's a bedroom for Beth, and then there's another room. There's 2 separate beds. I just bought 2 brand new beds. And I'm going to be putting 2 smaller beds into the bigger room, and then Beth's gonna get the smaller room because the beds I bought are too big. They're full, so the room that she has fits both beds. Then the other room will only fit one of those beds.
How old is Beth?
Beth is 12, gonna be 13 in April.
All right. How does she get along with the other 2 kids?
Very well. Sometimes they have their spats. They're siblings.
Is she there all the time?
Yes. She goes to her friends and stuff and hangs out and does her things too and be able.
And so as of yesterday, you don't have a significant other,
No.
just you two?
Yep.
Do you have any kind of criminal record?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Just already gone over the abuse and neglect investigations.
Can I speak about that video?
Sure.
That video was a time that me and Brian Ennis was living together. Mr. Busman pushed his way into the home and was forcing his way in the house. He came in angrily and stuff, and he went towards Brian. He was sitting in my room on the bed because I told Brian not to engage with him. He went in towards my room, went into the room and started poking at Brian, calling him names and saying, I want my blanking wife back. Blah, 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 long story short. And that was the same day that Mr. Busman went down the hallway, I believe, because I was in the room with Brian. And I believe Mr. Busman put Joey in my daughter's room and recorded that.
You did?
I believe he did. I know he did.
So there didn't appear to be anyone other on the video other than the children. You weren't.
I was in the back room with Brian comforting him because he just got done poking and prodding at Brian and calling him names and saying, get away from my wife.
All right, so he said you waved him into the house. That's not.
I did not.
All right, so if he was trespassing or breaking and entering, did you call the police?
He had a knife, Your Honor, and stabbed my table. I was threatened.
Okay, after you left, did you call the police?
I did not. I was scared.
If you were scared and you had a knife and broke into your house.
But when because every time I call the cops, they don't do anything, Your Honor.
Creates a paper trail, right?
I didn't think of
It
it.
would be
I didn't,
evidence that
I
you
didn't think
made
of it.
into the house if you had called the cops.
Right,
It was a day later and so you came over.
I didn't think of that, Your Honor. I was through a lot.
Stabbed the table, called the cops, knife still sticking out of the table.
But you know what I mean? I was
Take a
really,
picture of the knife sticking out of the table.
he had the knife in his hand, Your Honor. It was his flip up knife. He went like this and then he stuck it back in his pocket. I did not have the knife.
Do you have any mental health or physical issues that affect your ability to parent?
No, I just have anxiety. But my son passed, so it's just more worrying about my kids passing and stuff.
Are you getting mental health treatment for that? Though?
Oh yeah, I go to CMH all the time.
All right. Do you have any alcohol or illegal drug dependencies?
No.
Parenting time schedule, in fact, you guys have deviated from that over the month. Mr. Westman said that you two had both assaulted each other during the time you were together. Is that true?
That is not true, Your Honor. It's when he was abusing me and grabbing me by the hair and I'm fighting back. That's not me assaulting him. That's me protecting myself. Yes. I've gotten pulled out of bed by my hair while pregnant. Tell me to get up and do my motherly job when I was having a disabled boy that was 24-hour care around the clock and I did not work. And he was my job.
All right. Anything else I haven't asked about that you want to testify to?
Anything that you didn't ask about that I want to testify to?
If you
That I'm
get
a great-
Present your case. You present it.
That I'm a great mom and I'm looking for a new job right now and someone just contacted me. She's asked me what shifts I'm looking for and I said I'm looking for a first shift before I can get out of third shift.
Anything else you want to present? All right, sir, do you have any questions for Ms. Buston? No? All right. Anything else either of you want me to consider?
I don't know.
All right, I got a lot of notes here and a couple of exhibits that were attached to the pleadings, and I'm gonna take some time to go over all that. I'll issue a written recommendation in order within a week or so. All right,
Okay,
okay, you guys are all set.
thank you.